What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to the Chalupa and Friends halftime live stream. Canes are now up 24-17 going into the half against Louisville. I will be joined by a couple special guests, maybe even three, on today's episode. You never really know, and today it may be three, but two of my favorites will be joining me. Obviously, you got to say hello to everyone in the chat. If you are in the chat, let me know how you're feeling about the first half of the game so far. Looks like it may be a bit of a shootout. Offense looks good, running the football very successfully right now, which obviously is a bit of was a point of contention for a lot of us going into or coming out of the bye week. You know, we were all a little bit curious as to if the running game would start showing itself a bit. Fletcher looked really good in the first half. So did Martinez. But this is called Chalupa and Friends for a reason, because it's not just about me. It is about my friends as well. First up, the GOAT when it comes to this media thing, whether that's writing, locked on. Donno kind of just does a little bit of everything now. He is the GOAT. And the reason you all know who Chalupa Batman. The man, the myth, the legend, Alex Donno. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm nervous. It's at least Miami's got a halftime lead for a change. Like, we're not used to that, but it feels like could be a fragile lead with the way that Louisville's offense has been able to get downfield, do some things. Isaac Brown's made some big plays. Even Don Chaney has made some big plays against us, which is totally predictable. You knew he was going to have the Miami revenge game in this one. And Miami's offense obviously has played very well. And the difference in this game, CB, has been a defensive touchdown. And thank God for that. Simeon Barrow with the hit forced the fumble. Our guy Popo Aguirre gets the touchdown. Yeah. So that a defensive play has been the difference in this one.
And it's interesting. Our first fumble recovery the entire year goes for 6.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yes, that's crazy. So let's keep the train rolling. Friendo number 2. No stranger to the channel, as all three of these guys are no stranger to the channel. Representing 305 Sports now, my guy, Will. Will, how are we feeling about the first half, buddy?
I freaking hate Louisville. That's how I feel. I freaking hate that school, hate that team. I can't stand Brom and the way he looks on the sidelines and his little freaking hat. I can't stand Shaw. I'm mad at Don Chaney for not staying. It's funny how it's kind of funny how
Will's pissed, y'all.
Yeah, those freaking former Hurricanes always find a way to get us, at these games, man. It really is. But I will say this though, I'm happy because the running game is cooking and it's official. I think Mark Fletcher should be our RB1. He is the better running back, the most fine-tooled running back as well during the game. I like the decision making by Cam Ward. I was so upset when the ball hit him right in the hands and he dropped that ball that would have kept the drive going. That would killed me. But you can't catch them all, man. You can't catch them all. So that's pretty much where I'm at. But the defense has looked good in some instances, like you guys talked about, which was the forced fumble. And Popo, shout out to his dad as well, Raul, for recovering that touchdown. But again, big plays, man. 43 yards by Isaac Brown. And that play reminded me of the one where Montrell Johnson scored in the Florida game, where they got caught in an inside twitch by the defensive end and the linebacker got buried, and that's how Isaac Brown was able to score. But again, big plays seem to play the Canes still to this very day.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. But without further ado, I'm glad you brought that up as your last point. That me and Donno were talking about that a little bit beforehand as well. My guy, my brother, from another mother, representing the You Heard Pod. It was Joey Kool-Aid when we were like 3-0. It's been Joey whatever ever since that. How are we feeling about the first half, brother?
I'm feeling well, man. I think we missed the opportunity to score late and get the ball back in the second half. Too many missed tackles. Definitely too many missed tackles. Too many, a few coverage busts. But overall, I think we're doing well. A lot of us expected Louisville to score. Like, I don't think a lot of people, were thinking we would shut them down, but we've done well. I think the front four on defense has started to assert themselves to where we don't have to blitz as much. We can just rush forward and play coverage. So, feeling all right.
So we saw some personnel differences in this first half.
Yes.
So I want to get everyone's opinions on that. Don, I want to start with you. On the offensive side, we saw a little bit of some shuffling there. We saw Horton get the start. We saw Fletch get the start. We even saw a drive where Rivers was at left guard and they had Bell at left tackle. How interesting has it been from you seeing some of the different personnel groupings and guys getting an opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why you would mix it up a little bit on the offensive line because I feel like they think Bell has earned more playing time even with Rivers being back, and also with Rivers now being back. Let's not forget he hasn't played football in a month and a half, so there could be a little bit of rust there. You know, I think he was responsible for a sack in that first half on the left side, which is not usually something you see from Rivers. But again, he's probably, very rusty, not having played since August 31st. And I think the most positive change, and it was Will referenced it earlier, was Mark Fletcher starting the game. I think he deserves that. He gave Miami's running game a major push and a major punch from the opening drive. And also, I feel like we got a little something extra from Martinez. When Dame came into the game, he might, he might feel a certain way that, hey, I'm not the starter here anymore. So it looked like he was a bit more decisive and explosive. So I'm loving the balance on offense, guys. I mean, we know Ward is going to be able to make plays, but this is the type of game where you need balance because Louisville's got one of the better offensive lines you're going to face, one of the better defensive lines you're going to face this year. I know they haven't put up as many sacks as we thought they would to this point, but Ashton Gelati was a double-digit sack guy last year. They got a couple of other dangerous guys on that line, so you need to be able to create some balance. Otherwise, Cam's going to be under duress the whole game.
Well, what about you? What do you think about some of the personnel differences we've seen? Even Donno mentioned seeing Popo on defense a little bit. We've also seen Zaquan out there, Cole McConaughey. Shout out to someone in the chat that mentioned Cole McConaughey getting out there. What do you think of some of the changes in personnel we've seen so far?
Well, I do like it because some of these guys have practiced well and they've gotten into games. They do have some experience playing in games, especially when we were blowing out teams early on in the season. So they do have some reps as well. So it's very important. Like Cole McConaughey is one of those guys. There's been a cry for Saquon Patterson to get into more games. I personally think that's not a bad idea. It's going to be some growing pains with him being a true freshman, but I think from what people wanted Meach to be in the beginning was to play more of a nickel role. I think that might be his best bet. But I do like it. I like Jalen Rivers playing at guard a little bit. I agree with Donno. He's been out of football for a month and a half, so I do think that putting him in a guard position is better for him to getting in the game. Plus, Markel Bell has earned some starting reps even with Jalen Rivers out. But I do like some of the changes. I like the fact that, again, Mark Fletcher's RB1. I think he's the better all-around back, even than Martinez. Martinez is a straight power back, but Martinez may need a lead blocker every so often because that's what he's used to, whereas Fletcher could play, in a one-back set and still excel like it's nothing. So I do like what we're seeing in the game so far. I do like some of the personnel changes. I like the chances Miami's putting these guys in the position.
What do you think, Joe? We've seen some different guys get some sauce and get some run out there. How you feeling about it so far?
Yes, I love it. We've talked about it, and Coach Cristobal alluded to it in the pressers, right? That we may see something different. We may see some toggling along the line. Yeah, JoJo definitely needs to be on the field. Yes, I love it though. Mark Fletcher has definitely earned the right to get more carries, and we see the difference. No shot to Damian Martinez, and like Donno mentioned, Damian Martinez is running with a little more vigor, a little more anger now. That he's coming in second. So I love the young guys getting valuable. This is a big game. So when Zaquan and Cole McConaughey and Popo gets in, they're getting valuable experience. Man, we have not to move ahead, but we have a playoff run to think about. So these guys need reps. They need reps. So I love it.
So we've seen QB1 spread the ball out today. Sam Brown, 2 catches, 66. Jacoby George, 2 for 33. 2 for 21 for X. 2 for 20 for Mark Fletcher. Just 1 for Horton for 3, but Cam missed him on a couple of balls. So he could easily have a 3 for 50 look. I did see a couple people mention the tight ends. Are any of y'all a little bit concerned that this is maybe 2 games in a row where we haven't seen the tight ends get involved as much as they've been early? Is that concerning to any of you guys?
I don't know if it's concerning as long as the offense is playing well, but it's surprising, right? And I feel like the tight ends could be needed more in the second half. And I know Arroyo's playing because I've seen him blocking, so it's not as if he's been absent from snaps or anything like that. So that's something I would definitely like to see a little bit more of. No doubt, getting the tight ends involved. I'm really really happy to see Sam Brown getting involved and making big plays, because that's a guy that he has missed some plays this year. The fan base has been pretty hard on him, so I think being able to build up his confidence and establish another weapon in the receiving core, because these guys are a lot of these guys have had their moments. I mean, it's funny we haven't gotten the Restrepo signature moment yet, because he had that one deep ball that just went in and out of his hands, and then the catch he usually makes when he's on the ground with the bobble. The Louisville defensive back made the great play to knock it out at the last second. So like, we haven't gotten the X signature moment, but we got the Jacoby George toe tap in the back of the end zone. It was just like the Florida touchdown, which is great to see. We've seen Sam Brown making plays. So maybe the second half is when X is going to come alive again, and hopefully when the tight ends are going to come alive again.
Yeah, I don't think it's for lack of effort trying to get the tight ends the ball. On that first sack that Cam took, Elijah Arroyo was open. He just couldn't get it to him. So I definitely don't think it's for lack of effort. I think they'll attempt. I'm looking for a play action out of that diamond formation. I think that's coming. Play action. I think that's coming. They're setting something up. I just have a feeling, but I think they'll get the tight ends involved in the second half. Definitely.
I'm surprised Lofton isn't on that diamond formation. When I first saw it, my thought was they're putting too much back there to disguise somebody. Where's Elijah Lofton? I was thinking Lofton's back there. Yeah. He's trying to hide something here.
It's going to happen.
Probably Lofton.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Riley's probably in for most of that. When we see 9 on is Louisville watching this? When we see 9 on that formation, it might be something a little different. Will, I want to start with you with this next one.
Okay.
We've seen the defense bend but not break a bit today. We've seen some bad angles. The tackling has left a little bit to be desired. But from your standpoint, you feel like we're seeing the defense progress, or give us a little bit more of the same that we've seen prior to the bye?
I just think a little bit of both. Like, we've seen the defense. Like, I like our front four. I think our front four has been really good at pressuring Tyler Shaw. But like, we've all known that the whole goal is to get the ball out of Shaw's hand as quickly as possible, because the front four of Miami is very good. I am still concerned, though, with the missed tackles, and more so from the secondary. I've seen a lot of missed tackles from secondary, hitting some guys high, as well, when they should be going low. We saw, I think it was Dayani Hill went high on one of the wide receivers that he was able to slip out when it hit the corner. So it's a little bit of both. I see some improvement. They're not giving up those bombs I did against Cal and even against Virginia Tech. But I do think the tackling is still has yet to be desired, especially in the secondary. Again, some bad angles as well I saw again, and some missed tackles as well, where guys are being carried 3 or 4 yards before they're brought down. And I think that could be a problem in the second half.
I left this comment up for a reason. Donno, I know as a Locked On Canes fan and someone who watches every episode, when we get a transfer in, when we get a guy in, there's usually the high expectation, and then there's the fan base that's, he can't be. Your thoughts so far on Simeon Barrow, someone who came in and we were told and trolled on Twitter, you guys got the wrong guy. That's not the guy you really wanted.
Right. And the other guy's doing well also, but I'm fine with the one we have.
He's a heck of a football player.
Yeah.
But Simeon Barrow has looked incredible. From your vantage point, how do you feel like that's worked out for Simeon in this defense so far this year? And do you feel like he's going under the radar a bit?
He shouldn't be, not anymore. And I feel that this, what I'm about to say, is probably an oversimplification of the situation. But I know most Miami fans will agree with me that the 6+ games into the 7 games now that Simeon Barrow is having for Miami is really what we wanted from Leonard Taylor more consistently for the last 4 years. Right. And obviously we knew what Taylor was and is capable of. He still made it to the NFL for a reason, but he never brought that consistency. Whereas Simeon Barrow, so far, I know we're a little over halfway through the season now, but he has been just so disruptive, and he's just so strong and explosive. And that was something that you could see signs of it during fall practices and his name, he would get called out a lot as being a top performer. And I'm glad we're seeing it, because he's making the most of his opportunity. He's got one season here at Miami, so he wants to be part of a winning team and hopefully win something here. He also wants to raise his draft stock, and I think he's obviously accomplishing both of those things so far.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect transfer portal story, right? You just need one
Yeah.
more year to just pop just a little bit more. I think if anyone's looking at their career going, should I go on the bigger stage for one more year? A guy like Simeon Barrow, a guy like Cam Ward, they're proving that the system is not just for disgruntled players who want to leave because they're not getting playing time. It's also for the guy who is probably a mid-round draft pick if someone would have just watched him for the past 3 years. So I love that he's actually getting this shine and getting a chance to show that he's been a dominant defensive tackle now, but now that he's doing it on a winning team, he obviously is getting a bit more praise for it. We saw Ruben Bain be incredibly disruptive in this first half. May not show up on the stat sheet, but Joe, you feel like he's starting to really hit his stride again, looking like himself coming off that injury?
Yeah, not surprising at all. We've been waiting for him to get back. The defense was doing pretty well with him out, but he just brings a different dynamic to the game, man. He's now a vet, kinda. He's really unblockable. Like, you can't do anything with Ruben Bain against the run, against the pass. Ruben Bain, and he makes the whole line better because you have to pay attention to him, and that frees up guys like Simeon Barrow, whoever's on the other end. So Ruben Bain doing Ruben Bain things. I love it.
Is anyone surprised that it's going to be a shootout? I know ACC games tend to be a little Big 12-ish, sometimes. Is anyone a bit surprised? The reason I say that is because, coming off a bye week, usually a defensive coordinator gets time to really cook and to really scheme. All right, is anyone on the panel? We'll start with Donno, go Will to Joey. Are you surprised at all that it's looking like this may be another shootout?
I not really, and it's not obviously we've seen some of the usual breakdowns, which is unfortunate. Will talked about the big running play from Isaac Brown, which we've seen that already happen to us a couple times this year, and some of the problems that we have with misdirection and eye candy. So there are some patterns. At the same time, though, it's like this is one of the best offenses, probably the best offense that's left on your schedule. Maybe Syracuse. But for a long time, this is the best offense that you're going to see. So, it's not that surprising that it's, given Miami's recent defensive struggles and how much good personnel Louisville has on the offense. I was thinking shootout coming in like that. That's kind of what I was expecting.
What about you, Will?
I expected Louisville to get their points in, but I didn't expect much of a shootout. I just thought that with Louisville playing the week before and Guidry having another extra week to prepare, we see a bit more of a tightening up on certain mistakes that we're making the last couple of weeks. So I thought that, I'm happy Miami's ahead. I'm not surprised they're ahead in the first half. But I'm hoping that the second half they tighten up and they could run away with the game. I think they really need a dominant win. Especially on a team like Louisville, especially with it doesn't matter what they say, they're going to hate anyway, but especially all the people that are doubting the Canes, that they realize that this is a real team. This team is special. This is some of the best collection of players I've seen, and I think we've seen in a long time. And I think that they could just fix a couple things here and there. There's no reason why we can't be dominant and a top 5 team overall in the nation.
What about you, Joe? Are you surprised at the shootout?
My bad. Yes. No. I had Louisville scoring 30 plus points. So we knew what was going on. Miami just needs to tackle. We have to tackle. I mean, plain and simple. I don't think scheme has much to do with it. I think we have to tackle, we have to run fit, and we have to take better angles. And I think if we do that, I think it can be a blowout. But we just have to tighten up on D.
And we just got to keep scoring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Let's just outscore people. Yeah. June Jones used to say all the time, my defense is Colt Brennan. Like, I got Colt outscore this defense. So one of the things I love to do before we get out of here, second half is about to start, I'd like to assign my guests as the coordinators. And now that we've got 3, I will give Donno, you're going to be Dawson. Will, you'll be Gidry. Joe, you're going to be Mario. We're going to start with the coordinators first. Let's start with our offensive coordinator. What adjustments are you making coming out of the half, Donno?
Not many. I want to keep balance with the running game. Actually, I wouldn't mind, maybe mixing in a little bit of Jordan Lyle or AJ Allen to maybe add a little bit more of a home run punch. I would like to see, if we do get to a point where we need to improvise a little bit more, maybe get Chris Johnson on the field. Whether I don't care where you line him up, just get him out there and just no mistakes. That's what I'm telling Cam Ward. Just you don't have to do anything too crazy. Let's just play a clean second half.
What we got, Gidry?
All right, so I suggest still rushing 4, no more than 5, tightening up on the coverage a little bit. Don't leave so much cushion, for their passing. You're able to carve you up a little bit, making it second and third and short. That's pretty much what I would do. Emphasize tackling, staying low, not going high, and gang tackling is what to bring guys down, and continue to pressure Shaw. Shaw, when he has a clock in his head, he tends to make some more mistakes, and he tends to go to the flat. So that's why I would tighten my coverage a little bit more, because you might be able to get a pick 6 out of this one.
All right,
good job, guys. Good job, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
We're gonna keep tempo. We're gonna keep tempo in them. We're not gonna slow it down. That's about it, though. Yep.
He had nothing for Gidry.
By the way, I like the tempo because we caught Louisville with their pants down with our tempo. We weren't expecting that.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Final prediction before we get out of here. We'll go reverse order this time. Joe, Will, Donno. Final score. What we got?
What did I have? I think my final score I think I had 45-31, something like that. So yeah, we're gonna stay with that.
What we got, Will?
I'm gonna give Louisville some more points, 42-30.
Okay.
This is gonna be a fun one. All right, Donno. Final score prediction.
I'm going to stick with my original prediction. I'm going to go 38-27 Miami.
Okay.
So I originally said, I think 38-20, I think, or 38-14. I'm going to go 42-24. I think they get on the board again, but I do think we've shown that we can step on the gas pedal a bit on the offensive side as well in the second half, and it just looks like guys are running open. And if Cam is precise in the second half, I feel like he's gonna carve them up. I think this is a easy and concise W. Joe, what you watching right now?
The game. Cam just missed Sam Brown.
The game.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta get out of here, y'all. It's time for the second half. Thank you very much for showing up. Like, share, subscribe. Everyone's links are in the description. I love everyone passionately. Go Canes.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you.